to this video. It's basically going to talk about Mount Hermon, the United Nations secret facility, which basically lies, the stretch of it lies basically all the way from, I believe, Syria to Lebanon is how far it goes. And it's basically about 7,000 feet above sea level. Louis XIV declared these meridian points around 1666 as being around 33 degrees north of the meridian points, and 33 degrees east of the equator lies Mount Hermon. And this is where the port of entry is for the fallen angels. Basically, Enki was lord of the earth, planet Earth, and Enlil also being another fallen angel too, as a lot of other Lucifer's fallen angels have fallen. It's crazy, all the stories that go on, but these stories are not just stories, they're actually truths behind it. And there's a very sacred site, and to today's date they're still fucking worshiping evil at the Vatican there. It all ties into it. They're very, very evil world we live in, and they don't consider themselves evil because they're waiting for Lucifer to come back. They've constructed a palace for Lucifer, and he's going to be coming back to go to this palace. But I'm going to get into what Archangel Michael gave Solomon a ring he got, and this ring gave him powers over these entities. And these entities need to be controlled. And for Solomon to do this, he needed the ring to do it. And he lost. It was stripped of his ring for using the power of the ring for his own self, for his own. And he was stripped of it, and he got it back again. And that's how basically the story goes. And if you think that this stuff is all just make-believe and stuff, it's not. If you look into the IHS, which is basically the black sun of Saturn, the black pulp, the IHS has a representation of Isis and Osiris. And basically what happened in the IHS, if you look at it, Osiris was murdered by Set, okay? And they had basically Isis and everything had an affair with Set, and in this they had an affair, and they had a child too. But before they had the child, Horus, or rather Osiris was chopped up, and they took some of the DNA from Osiris. And before, when they killed him, and basically they used some of that DNA, and they had a child and everything, and that child they had was Horus. But basically the child that they had was actually a resurrection of Osiris. Osiris was Horus, their son. He was resurrected. And that's how the Isis story more or less goes. In today's date, they have the initiation into the cult Isis at the Vatican, and I'm not going to get into the Vatican here at all. And changing the subject a little bit around, I mean, I've been in robotics for a while, and I'll spill some of the beans. Some of the plans that I worked on the robotics and stuff were for some of these real technologies to be using these robots underground, because a lot of these robots don't have any sense or feel or emotions, and they were using some of these robots that I work with underground and everything for all kinds of sinister stuff. They didn't tell me about it, but that's what they're using, these robots I was working on with. They're amazing form of transhumanism, but amazing stuff that's going on. Also, moving on with the video a little bit more, talking about what's going on in terms of the other bases in the Antarctic and stuff, with Hitler and stuff under the Vril Society bases, which are still fucking there. The bases were built over a Nazi base. The Vrils and everything basically joined the Vrils were actually friends with some of the Mayans, the Aztecs, and they made a treaty with some of the parts of Venezuela, parts of South America, they went underground and became a real society takeover between the Venezuelans and the Brazilians, and everything became very good friends with the Vrils. And it's a lot of history behind all this, but I'm not going to get into that. But I want to get more into the underground bases a little bit more, and how they've built over it, and some of the technologies I work for at Nellis, some of the patents that I looked at that they were building or working with were